Okay, Mr. Sterling, thank you very much for joining us on this day. Now, you're having your medicals done to prep for Johnny Edurado. I assume everything's going well?
Yeah, they actually told me they're going to have to amputate one of my arms before this fight.
Hey, if Nick Newell can do it, anyone can. And also, you know, you'll have a big. That's what, it'll help your weight cut as well.
What's that?
My weight cut's going well right now. I mean, I still eat a lot of candy from time to time, mostly chocolates, but it's going well. Getting lean and mean.
It's all.
I was gonna say, must be going well if you're eating chocolate.
Yeah.
Now, Mr. Sterling,
I'm a big chocolate guy. I get these weird cravings, man. It's weird.
Hey, everyone, I get cravings too.
I was gonna say I get cravings, and I'm not weight cutting.
Now, you are a man who's in the spotlight, I think, because you are in that kind of just short of this kind of title shot. You're just on the outskirts. You're a win or two away, so your name is being kind of mentioned a lot. I think it should be mentioned more than it is. There are guys in the top rankings who actually I think you might go up without even fighting anyway. If you think about Uriah Faber, I don't know how much longer he's going to have in fights. You know, I think he's more going for he's going to try and, after his next fight, he's probably going to try and pick the more entertaining fights. Maybe he might go to 145. And I've also, Barao, he's going up to 145, rumoured as well. So do you feel, with a win over Eduardo, you might potentially already be in that mix just from that one fight?
Yeah, I do think so, but it just depends on how the UFC wants to play their cards. I know they got another top prospect in Almeida who just came off a huge knockout, but he's not beating anyone of too big of a name in my opinion. But he does look impressive, and I think it just depends on who they want to give that opportunity to. So. Who knows, man? Maybe after this fight, granted it goes well for me, I get the finish and I look good, they're probably going to pit us against each other, and whoever wins is probably going to get the next title shot. So I'm excited for whatever happens, but I do think I could potentially skip the line if Faber's not going to be the next guy to jump in and take that title shot against either TJ or Cruz.
Yeah, I was going to say, I'm quite excited that McDonald's back as well.
Yeah, that was recently announced, and he's an all-action sort of guy.
And it's great that he's back in that mix, and also Freddie Assunção, you've got, get him back fit. It does help kind of add the excitement for the fight fans, and also I think for yourself having, the kind of challenge there ahead of you. You've got some great fighters ahead of you to take on if this isn't if the title shot isn't to happen.
Yeah, I actually just saw that he was back today fighting Kanehara, I think.
Yeah.
That should be a good fight, but see how he does, after that long layoff and just, his hands being all mangled up for so long. So, hopefully he still comes back the same person that he was before he left.
Yeah, it's there's something that does puzzle me. Now, I'm going to be in Vegas for your next fight. I've got to make sure I get there nice and early for it, because you're early on the card.
Oh, you're coming up.
Yeah, Mike's coming across. Mike's flying over from the UK. He's going to all three of the cards on that weekend, so to speak.
What can I say? I'm greedy. yeah. So I'll be there for it, and I'm looking forward to the whole week's going to be amazing. I can't remember the last time UFC put on something like this, but I am puzzled why they put you on so early. Do you feel a bit puzzled as well?
Yeah, I'm actually very, very confused. You would think us being the highest ranked people on the card that we would have a little bit more of a, I don't even know what you would call it.
Exposure.
More respect? I don't know. I don't know the proper word for that. For the lack of better terms, I'm going to say respect. I think a lot of people want to see us fight. I guess it is okay since we're in the middle that a lot more people are going to come in to watch us and probably go out and go get some more beers before they come back and watch the rest of the card. So,
I hate that.
The only thing I thought about, the only reason I thought you were on this low on the card is simply because I think the UFC, they tried to offer Miesha Tate as well at a Fight Pass event, I think it was recently. She said she declined. I think what they're trying to do is get some of their bigger potentially this is just a random guess. This probably is nothing why they're doing it. Is maybe trying to get maybe their bigger stars on, for example, the prelims or the fight pass to try and help build up the exposure of those, because maybe the prelims, they want to get the numbers up, get the interest on the prelims, so people might stick earlier in the night, exactly, to try and maybe stick, so people stick out the card.
Figures, you know, on
yeah,
longer,
so if they stick you as, like, say, a co-main event, people might not tune into the co-main event. Well, they want people at the start of the card to tune in, not just in the stadium, but or the, you know, just maybe online or wherever they're watching. That's just a random. I'm just pitching it out there.
I'm puzzled.
Yeah, I'm puzzled too. You know, you are kind of a main card guy. The style of fighting that you bring, the wins that you've had recently as well. It's
fortunately for me, I'm always early.
You are, yeah.
I'm always early
from the first. We always go from the first fight, don't we?
I'm like, you know, there's me and some guy spraying the canvas, and that's it. You know, but yeah, so I won't be missing it. But yeah, I am puzzled, and I think there should be more exposure put on yourself.
Yeah, you know, it is what it is at this point. You know, I can sit here and keep trying to figure out what the reasonings are. The only thing I can say is, you know, after I complained, I was, you know, supposed to be on a Fox card, the last Fox card of the year, which was the last card of the year, and I just don't understand how I started complaining, and then I didn't even complain about not getting a fight. I complained about guys turning down fights with me. So that was my complaint, and just not being able to make money because all these guys keep turning on the fight. And then I kind of get short end of the stick, like, okay, well, here's your fight, now you're on Fight Pass. Where I'm just like, well, it's not like I was, you know, saying that in a way where I was attacking you guys. I was just saying, you know, these fighters need to step up and fight. That's what you're supposed to do. Step up and take a goddamn fight.
Yeah,
so,
yeah.
I don't know if that's the only thing I think that makes sense, and maybe that's what it was, but, you know, I can just only sit here and speculate, and they're going to always say, no, it wasn't this, it was that, or... So it's whatever, man. At the end of the day, it's their business. They're going to do whatever the hell they want to do, you know? We just got to go out there and just got to put on a good show so that we can kind of get the ball in our court a little bit.
Yeah, I do get the feel that the UFC don't like it when, and you don't have to agree with me on this one, but I'll just say it myself, when the UFC, they don't seem to like anyone that complains about anything in any sort of way or fashion. They always want people to be sort of pro everything, shall we say. It's like clearly, clearly, I mean, everyone knows that just about everyone doesn't like the Reebok deal, pretty much, and yet they still don't like it when anyone moans about it.
Yeah.
Well, it's obvious, you know, the figures aren't lying.
Yes.
You know,
yeah.
And, you know, if somebody asks a simple question, are you happy with the Reebok deal? And you
shouldn't be scared to say an honest answer.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
It's almost like you've got gaffer tape on you. You know, it's
because you're scared of what repercussions that could happen.
So it seems like so even the most clear, obvious times where people aren't happy, it seems like the UFC don't like it. They want everyone to be like saying, "Oh yes, you know, everything's great, everything's golden." You know.
Well, if we did that, then the UFC would have no personality. You know, everybody would be the same. It would kind of be the same old repetitive thing over and over and over. Everyone's saying the same thing. Everyone agreeing to the same thing. Oh, this is great. This is dandy. Oh, I love this and I love that. But reality is, we all have different perceptions of things, different things we like, and I think that's what makes the sport great. We all have different opinions, and I think when you take away the individuality of it, when you uniform us pretty much in a kit, as they call it, I think we lose a lot of that individuality, and I think they try to say they made the kit so that we could be more individualized, but I'm like, I don't see how that makes any sense just based on the look of every single thing. Everything is the same. It's just, I don't know.
Yeah, it is peculiar.
Well,
it is.
I used to love the something as simple as the shorts. Like, you know what I mean? There was something I used to like about the shorts. You'd say like, you know, like
just the
designs. Like for instance, I love Frankie Edgar's shorts. You know, I thought they were awesome. You know, for an example, and I actually went out and bought a pair of these shorts. Like
they didn't fit Mike, but you know he'll.
Well, no, they weren't actually like his shorts, and I was a bit smaller back then, shall we say? But do you know what? Yeah, just the design, the Venom shorts, like you know, and you know things like that, and that individuality, sort of that personality. Like you were saying, I literally was going to come in with the uniform thing, and before you said it yourself, and. Yeah, I think they are taking away that individuality that's sort of there. You know what I mean? It's
So the only way you can get your own individual kind of personality.
I've got a help job with this one. Individuality.
Yeah, that's the one. Fucking hell. Spitting, I can't say them big words.
I feel like a ventriloquist at the moment. I'm doing really well at the moment. I am. So I didn't move my mouth at all.
You didn't move your mouth once. So I think the only way that people can do it is with their voice. It seems now, you know, that's and
and then you end up second on the card or whatever.
Yeah,
so yeah, good move. You know, but, oh dear.
But I have to say though, the matchup, you must actually, if you think about if you look at the rankings, if you take rankings aside, it's actually a really good matchup for you because you've got a guy who's got a hell of a lot of experience. So getting an impressive win on him I think it's actually probably one of the better picks to have on the card.
Really good favourite in the card.
I know, obviously, you were trying to get match up with, for example, you were trying to get Caraway, and you were calling out a load of guys just to get the matchups. And I think I think Eduardo's a better pick than Caraway, in my opinion.
Oh yeah, Eduardo's a much tougher fighter. For me, I want to fight Caraway because I thought it would be a fun stylistic matchup in terms of two grapplers, high pace, scrambling for position, and I think I come out on top at the end of the day regardless, but I just think it's a fun matchup, you know? It's just one of those fights where I think he poses some different threats, where he's very good at taking it back, he's very good at fish hooking people, as he did to Eric Perez.
Yeah.
But he's got some killer techniques where he just covers your mouth and fish hooks you to death and yanks on you. So I think that I'm kidding, by the way. I just thought that would have been a good matchup for me. And Eduardo, like you said, man, he's been around the block, man. I'm no fool. I know his talents. I know his skill set. I know what he possesses. I know what he brings to the table. And just at the end of the day, I think he's a lot older. I think I'm a lot hungrier. And I think I just want him more at this point. And I just can't see this guy beating me. The only way this guy even has a chance of even coming close to beating me is me standing there in front of him and giving him a stationary target to just wind up and take a home run swing at. And I don't fight like that, one. I fight more with my head, and it's just gonna be. I think it's just my fight to lose. So I think this is a great matchup for me. He's gonna be able to put me up there. You know, he's a no boot now coach for Muay Thai and stuff like that. So for me to beat a guy like that, I think it's huge for my career, and it's huge for just my legacy when I'm all said and done.
I think the finish of Mizugatti was a huge one. You know, for me watching that fight and the result itself, I thought that kind of, you know, sent sound waves in the division. I thought that was a huge one that you got, and what that's like you say, you were having trouble getting matchups, and I was sitting there thinking, he's just finished Mizugatti. Why on earth is he not being matched up to kind of push you a bit further? And that frustrated me. I was thinking, are they maybe looking to maybe delay the likes of yourself because they want TJ Dillashaw and Dominic Cruz and the Barral fights. They wanted to get them out of the way. Were they? And that's what I was thinking. Maybe they were trying to delay and hold you guys back because they're looking at yourself and other fighters in 2016, and they know that maybe they could try and squeeze out these other guys before then.
Oh yeah, 100%. But also, I think for me, that fight with Mizugaki, it was a good fight. But even for me, like, even though I dominated him, I didn't get to do half the things that I wanted to do, which I know I was able to do. Just going in that fight a little banged up. I know everyone goes in there banged up a little bit, but I went in there with a little bit more of some bumps and bruises, and you know, I got it through it, and I got the win. But I think just some of the stuff I did, maybe like the being on the cage a little too long and stuff like that, probably didn't look too appealing to some of the fans and I guess some of the UFC brass. But I'm like, man, it's not like I'm not trying to finish this guy. I take a guy down, I get on his back, and he can't do anything to get out. What do you expect me to do? Yeah. Let him go? It's like, okay, brother, let's try this again and try to make this more exciting. I'm like, if it's that easy for me to get your back, I don't know. I don't know what else I'm supposed to do at that point.
Yeah, it's
some parts. That's the thing. Some fight fans, I say fight fans, I rephrase that. Some people who watch MMA won't understand how difficult certain situations are. They think if you're up against a cage holding the guy, they wonder why you're not doing anything. And the thing is, they don't realise that's probably the hardest part in the whole match is when you're up against a cage with someone. It's, you know, your arms just are literally feel like a dead weight afterwards. You know, I compete as well here in the UK, and I know exactly what kind of particulars you're talking about in certain situations. You get it even when you spar in days and stuff. When some guys you just can't, you know, get what you need to get done because of their style, the way they're trying to stop you from becoming yourself and expressing yourself in the fight. So it is frustrating, and that's why it's such a big. I think it was such a big win, because he was kind of stopping you from maybe doing what you wanted to do, but you got the finish, and I think that's what. If you look at it from that perspective, that's what's more impressive. It was actually a harder finish to get than it actually was, than it looked.
Yeah. You fight in the UK, you said? You've had a few fights?
Yeah, I compete in the UK, yeah.
Nice. That's awesome. That's cool.
Yeah, so that's why I can relate to fighters when they talk about weight cuts or fighting and, and training and stuff like that, and injuries and bumps and all sorts of things. I think when you talk about it, I kind of, it touches me a bit more, because I kind of understand where you're coming from.
That's what I'm saying. We got a little bit more of an understanding of what's going on, man. I try to explain to people when I end up in those clinches on the cage, it's not like I want to stay there, but at certain points when you're in the clinch where if you don't commit all the way, you're going to end up getting hit with a nice elbow and get a nice little gash on your face, or a nice knee that could potentially put you down or break some ribs. So once you're in there, it's almost like you're committed to this position. You got to battle out until the ref stops the fight, or not stop the fight, but break you guys up.
Yeah.
And I think that was kind of a lot of what happened in the last fight, where I was going for a takedown, where Mizugaki did a good job stopping the takedown initially, and then we're on the cage and we're jockeying for position. Well, I think the ref should have stopped that and break that up a long time ago, so we could reset and make the fight a little bit more exciting, I guess. But at the end of the day, I'm not going to change up my style to try to sit there in a pocket and have a barn burner. It's just kind of silly to me.
Yeah, it is, and the worry is you've got to think. I think about a fight of the Alain Jabon and the Walsh fight, where Jabon got that elbow because they kind of, like you say, they were against the cage, the clinch. Jabon had the clinch, he had an underhook and overhook, and then all he did was follow the arm of Walsh, came over the elbow and finished him, and that's how. That was a beautiful elbow. I have to admit, it made me have a little sex wee. But that's the importance of keeping hold of that clinch. You let go, and there's one chance, one shot, and that ends a fight.
But also, how many people have thrown a fight because they've tried to make it that little bit more exciting
for the
at
fans.
That moment when maybe they shouldn't,
You've got to forget the fans and think about yourself.
Yeah, exactly. It's but
yeah, it's your face and brain at the end of the day.
Well, it's. I mean, yeah,
it is huge.
You can't always fight to the crowd.
No, and you've got to listen to what your coach is saying. If you got Ray Longo, Matt Serra in your corner, if they're telling you what to do, you stick to their game plan, and I'm sure they give you the right. When you're up against the cage, or you're on the ground, or you're standing, I'm sure their instructions are literally to a T, and they work out right for you because it's worked so far.
Yeah, 100%. If you watch that fight again and you listen to the audio, you can hear there's a point where I'm talking to Matt Serra in the match, and I'm just like, I'm telling him, like, I'm trying to do what I can do, because I'm trying to get the mount. He's telling me to go for mount. I know the mount is there. I'm trying to get it. He's holding my wrist. He's not letting me come up, and every time I do come up, he spins and rolls through. So then, for me to come up to mount is impossible. I'm going to just end up on his back like a Jansport and just keep rolling around. Now we're playing roly-poly on the ground. But that's him being tough and being a veteran and understanding the position and doing his training and doing his homework. And that's me still trying to be tough and try to get the position so I was trying to mount the guy and put a beating on him. That's what I like to do. I like to get on top, flatten the guy out, beat him down. If I can't do that, I take the back and I choke the guy out. Most of my finishes are rear naked chokes. I couldn't get the rear naked choke, and I ended up getting another submission, which hasn't been done, I think, since 1999. So I feel like I'm on the right track. I'm doing the right things. I'm getting better every single fight. So there's nothing for me to complain about. I just wish some people could just have a little bit more understanding of what was actually going on instead of just being the casual just bleed fans.
Yeah, exactly. The sofa fans, and you get it with all sports, really. You get it from NFL to NBA, all sports, all anything. They're just you got to kind of deal. You kind of just got to forget them and ignore them, and understand the people that can even talk to you about the fight and break it down a bit more. They're the ones you appreciate more. I mentioned Ray Longo and Matt Serra. We spoke to a friend of ours called Will Martin. He had the pleasure of meeting them in New York a couple of years back, and he was saying to us that he wanted to kind of ask you this question because I was speaking to him, you see, and he spoke to them a couple of years back, and he said, "Who's your next guy? Who's the next big guy who's going to make a splash?" And they even said, Ray and Matt, they said, watch out for this guy. He's going to make a splash. What kind of his question was, how much of an influence do those guys have on you and your career, and the kind of the way you are now, and how much of an effect do these guys have?
It's huge for me, just to have a staff like that. I feel like I'm blessed to have something where I get the best of both worlds. I get a striking guru in Ray Longo, and I get a freaking magician on the ground in Matt Serra who could destroy limbs in a heartbeat. And I think it's just something where I'm fortunate to have that, and I think it's definitely elevated my game. And I try to post clips of little things where I'm making improvements on where I've been criticized, and I do listen to the criticism because I'm open-minded. I believe just because you don't fight, you don't necessarily not know what you're talking about. You can still know what you're talking about and not do. And they say those who can teach will teach, and those who can do will do. So, like I said, I keep an open mind, and I listen to my coaches, and I just try to focus on the little things, the little fine details. Because the little fine details is what's going to make me better in the long run. And just doing the things that they tell me to do, pushing me day in and day out every time I'm in the gym. It's just trusting them. And I think that's the ultimate thing right there. We have trust within each other. I trust my coaches. They trust me. And I think that's what helps a fighter be even better. When you have that bond where they tell you something, you're going to go out there and you're going to do it.
Yeah, you're right. You do have to listen to them. It's huge. It makes a huge difference. And I think that, like you say, that you have got two kind of great kind of examples of coaches where they complement each other because of their different skill sets, and obviously the guys around you make a big difference.
Though, how much of a unit is Matt Serra now?
Matt Serra is a tank of a man, isn't he? When we met him, he's
like a
tank.
Rubik's Cube. He's as wide as he is tall, isn't he?
Yeah, he's funny as hell. That guy,
yeah.
That guy's riot.
Oh yeah, he's great. Every time I meet him, I'm like,
I like speaking to him. They are great.
It.
We spoke to him when they
cool.
were. Yeah, I got a chance to speak to him. Yeah.
Now, a question for you, and I know you've probably answered this one about 60 million times now, probably 61 million times.
Yep.
The Floyd Mayweather story. Now, right, I'm probably not the only person that thinks Floyd Mayweather's a bit of a cock. Okay, right, don't get me wrong, the guy can box. Well, and for anyone that says he's boring, yes, I agree he's boring, but he is an awesome boxer.
Yeah.
He's still a cock. I don't like his personality. I don't like how he puts himself out there. And when I heard the story of what hopefully you'll recycle now for our listeners, I just loved it. I loved it. So is there any chance you can run through it now?
All right. So we get to the after party. Well, the day after party, we were at the Palms. Weidman gets like the section for everybody, a couple bottles, whatever. Weidman doesn't really drink. I don't think he really drinks at all anymore. So he gets the bottles for pretty much his teammates, his friends, family, whoever's there. So we're at the top of the mezzanine. Probably like 20 minutes later, we get there, and then Mayweather walks in with his Louis Vuitton towel, swagged out, his shades on, the money team hat and everything. So he goes to this section by a DJ booth. Mind you, there's like this small section, there's probably like 30 or 40 guys over there in just that one corner. I'm like, yo, I see like no females, one, and just a bunch of dudes in a corner. But whatever, that's another story. So my girl, we pretty much all of us, we watch him come in, it's like, oh, that's Money Mayweather. We go over, we watch him come in, cool. We walk away. And my girl, she's still over there with her friend, one of my teammates' girlfriend also. So they're hanging out on the balcony, just looking over, and I guess he points at her, and is like waving her to come down. I guess she gets a little flattered or whatever. Okay, cool, Money, Mayweather is waving at me, telling me to come down. I guess any girl would probably be like, oh my God, me, oh my God, really? So whatever, cool. So she walks over, she tells me, and then next thing you know, he sends over a guy. The guy comes over, he's like, yeah, he wants the girl to come over. I asked him which girl he's talking about. My girlfriend walks over, and he was like, her. And I was like, yeah, it's not going to happen. I was like, that's my girlfriend, bro. So I was like, you can tell Mayweather I'm a fan of what he does, but he's undefeated in boxing, and I'm undefeated in MMA. So if he wants to find out what's better to today, boxing or MMA, we can find out. So that happens. He goes over. I told him to just make sure you send a message to me, please. But I was like, I know you're not going to tell him. I'm a little under the influence at this point. I tell him, like, I know you're not going to tell him. You're just not. But I'm going to tell you to tell him anyway. So he goes over. He leaves. Probably about another half hour later, maybe 45 minutes. Weidman goes over there with Vellante. They're talking and everything. And I don't know, for some reason, my girl, somehow, when she's walking by, she ends up stopping by the balcony again, talking to her friend. And Weidman's down there. And then I guess Weidman was saying, like, mid-conversation, he stops and he looks up and he points to another girl. And the girl happens to, again, be my girl. So he's, like, waving her to come down again. And Chris is over there. He's like, he didn't say anything. I don't know if he told him. I think he might have told him, like, hey, man, that's my boy's girl. But either way, that didn't matter to him because he still sent over another girl. He sent over a girl this time to come and bring us over there. And I was like, listen, I know how this works. If I go over there, she's telling us both to come at this point. I was like, no, I'm good. I was like, I'm cool. I like the guy, but I'm not a fanboy. I was like, I can, sit over here and, see him over there and, wave. That's cool enough for me. I'm good. And then she was like, no, just both come over there, please, and whatever. She's telling us to come over. I'm like, nah, I'm all right. She's like, all right, just come down by the steps. I was like, I know what happened. We go down by the steps. He tries to tell my girl to come up there, and then I try to go up there. Then I get stopped, and then it's gonna turn to a brawl. I'm not gonna have that because I'm not gonna get shitted on in front of everybody, and it's gonna be a big scene, and someone's gonna get hurt. It's probably gonna be me, but I'm gonna take somebody out with me. So I was like, let's not have any of that happen. You guys got like a bunch of guys with you. I don't give a shit how many of us are over here. I think it was only like 3 of us at the time, 3 guys. Me, Vellante, and I think one other person who wasn't even a fighter. But I was like, yeah, I'm willing to fucking go to war right now. So this guy better fucking cut the shit because, hey, it's not even the fact that I'm defending my girlfriend like that because she's a good girl. It's the fact that he keeps sending people over after I told him his minions to tell him what it was already, and they didn't do it. So they didn't respect me. So now I'm telling them what's going to happen if they don't, chill out. So I pretty much tell the same thing. Like, you can go tell him he's undefeated in boxing. I'm undefeated in MMA. If you'd like to find out what's better today, MMA or boxing, we can do that. And then, so that was pretty much the end of the story. He goes over there. She goes back over there, and I guess she stopped waving her over, and they eventually left. But I had a game plan set, man. I was like, yo, if these guys come over here and try to start some shit, they got to come up these narrow-ass staircase. I'm going to throw something down there, stop some of them, drop kick one of them down the stairs, and then fucking just take them out one by one. But it would have ended up ugly, but whatever. I was down to go my shield. I was going to go out on my shield that day.
Do you know what? The story of what happened is enough. Do you know what I mean? That's enough in its own right because, you stood your ground against probably the most disliked guy on the planet.
Outside of
people that have touched kids and things like that, you know what I mean? All right,
and Hitler, maybe.
Yeah. Hitler's probably a bit further down. But we'll give him that one.
I tell you what, do you know what? It shows though how he A, like and respect, and B, he just doesn't. He doesn't think of others. He doesn't think of others. He thinks of himself. It's a shame.
He doesn't realise where everyone comes from, and what? And one day you are going to have someone who's going to turn around and say no.
Yeah, and
the answer's no.
Well, the thing is, like I say, he picked the wrong fight, the wrong person. I think you know what, you take him down, or even leg kick would just end his.
I was going to say because you know what. I don't care what he has done. I know he's probably never ever been leg kicked. Ever. Even if he's done a day of jiu-jitsu, you don't get leg kicked doing that. And once you've been leg kicked once or twice, you turn around and say,
your world crumbles.
I don't kind of like that so much, because that's never going to knock me out.
No, it's not.
Do you know what I mean? It's not like I can wake up and it's all good,
And because I was thinking, do you know what? You talked about before how you weren't getting the matches, and you were thinking about taking a break. You were thinking about taking a break from MMA because it is you need to pay. Everyone needs to pay bills. And I thought, hey, he's got a potential boxing career if he thought about it.
Well, yeah. What like at dancing? Can you dance for 36 minutes?
All that money to dance. All that money to dance around.
I know. I would wear a tutu and do it, and I would do it for 36 minutes.
Oh dear!
I'd have tassels and sparkles and everything.
And then because it'll be your only one, you just leg kick him at the end. Just watch him limp around. Sorry, you're disqualified. I don't give a shit.
It's all good.
Oh dear. Yeah.
No, but do you know what? I'm so happy that the UFC finally got you matched up, and I think you know what, 2006. You know, you can go in against Eduardo. 2016. I think we're finally going to see, you know, the Sterling talked about more. I think people are going to start to take more notes of you, and it's what we need. But
I'll be cheering you on. I know that much.
It's nothing against Johnny Edurado. Yeah. I'm a Sterling fan, man. I've been a fan of yours for a long time. You know, I've been keeping an eye on your career, and it's great to have you on here. But we just before we let you go off, and you know, we know you've got a day ahead of yourself, and you're a busy man. But we'd like to have a little game, like we said. We'd like to do the Claxon with you. Last 10 seconds, the most important part of the round.
This would be the bit where you'd leg kick Mayweather.
Yeah, this is the part where you think to yourself, I've got to impress the judges to win the round. Okay, so let's see. We'll start off with the questions and see how you do. Okay, so are you ready for this?
All right, let's get it.
Okay, we'll start off gentle and we'll build it up. Okay, Twitter or Instagram? Twitter, okay. Sausage or bacon?
Bacon.
Mayweather or Caraway?
Caraway.
Okay. Main card in Vegas or prelim in New York?
Main card in Vegas.
Okay. New York Jets or New York Giants?
New York Giants.
Okay. Boobs or bum?
You said boobs or what?
Bum. Bottom.
Yeah. Ass. Booty.
Oh, booze.
Okay.
Booze. Wait, is that booze or?
Yeah. No, titties.
Tits or ass?
Titties or booty.
Oh, I'm an ass man.
Okay. Leg day or burpees?
Leg day.
Okay. Nike or Adidas?
Nikes.
Okay. Ayacuenta or Volante?
Ayacuenta.
Okay, and last one, Serra or Longo?
Oh, that's a tough one. I don't know if I can pick. I don't know if I can pick that.
Because you know what will happen in training.
What day is it tomorrow?
Okay,
I can't pick.
We'll call that a draw then.
Yeah.
Don't worry, we do get people with them. We do like to put them.
Well, we even got Bruce Buffer with one, didn't we?
Yeah, we get Bruce Buffer as well with them as well. So, before you shoot off, we'd like to ask you: do you? Well, we know you have them, but can you give people at home your social media stuff? So, like your Twitters, Instagram, Facebooks, whatever you've got, so people can jump on as well and join your epic journey to the UFC title.
You can find me on Instagram and the Twitter at Funkmaster_UFC, and you can follow my website www.aljamainsterling.com. I just put up some new shirts, the Human Anaconda and Funk University tees, lifestyle t-shirts. They're actually pretty cool. Not the corny shit that a lot of other people sell, but some good quality stuff. And big shout out to my sponsors, Nutrition Supplements. And December 10th, we're going to come by and we're getting the December takeover, baby. Me and Chris Weidman back to back. Let's get it.
Yeah, it is. It's going to be a hell of a week. It's going to be a hell of a time for us. And what do you want to give a shout out, like you say, Chris Weidman? Do you want to give a shout out to your training partners and your team and your coaches, even your friends, family, and your girlfriend?
Wait, I'm supposed to shout them out?
Yeah, no, just just the gym.
Anyone you want to thank, you know.
Yeah, anyone you want to thank.
Of course, I thank everybody. I thank my training partners, all my training partners, Serra Longo family. Everybody plays a big part. Everybody, if it was one piece of the puzzle, it helps make the whole picture. So, the whole Serra Longo family and my family and friends that help support me and come out to my fights.
And I will vouch for you on the t-shirts. I have saw them online today. I saw a picture of you posting them. They are very well priced as well. They're not $99 like some certain brand of jerseys for certain fighters.
Adidas here,
no, we're not. But they're buyable, folks, is what I'm trying to say. And also, before you go, thank you for joining us, and thank you for talking and letting everyone else hear some of your stories and what's going to be happening with you. Before you shoot off, can you just stay on the line and we will chat to you offline? But obviously, this has been an absolute pleasure for us.
Yeah, thank you.
Thanks for having me, guys.